and welcome back. In this little portion of this video, we're going to be talking about how you can do a sort of more responsive or paced bottle feeding method. So whether you are combination feeding your baby, so you're giving both bottles and breast, whether you're exclusively bottle feeding or sort of giving a random bottle every now and then if you've got to go to the hairdressers. If your baby is a little bit more unsettled after a bottle feed or doesn't like to go to the bottle, this video might be for you. Responsive bottle feeding is something that is so kind of important to me, but also important for me to teach my clients. Feeding our baby responsively with a bottle means that they're going to be a lot more settled after feeds, just in the same way that if you were encouraged to, speed eat a 5-course meal, you would feel a little bit of digestive discomfort afterwards, maybe a bit bloated and a bit yuck. Babies are also the same. It also helps your kind of bond because they can trust you, that you are really listening to their cues and feeding in a way that is responsive to their needs. Feeding in a paced way also means that they're more likely to go back and forth between breast and bottle because they're less likely to develop what we call in the lactation world a flow preference. If we think about how our baby feeds at the breast versus at the bottle, it'll help us understand this all a little bit more. So when our baby feeds at the breast, they very much use all of their oral facial muscles, primarily their jaw and their chin. When we think about them anchoring themselves at the breast with their chin first, and then they use their jaw and that wave-like peristaltic motion to transfer the milk from inside to outside. However, it's a completely different technique when our baby feeds from the bottle. It's a whole different skill altogether, which is why I always say to new parents, if you are encouraging your baby to take a bottle every now and then, consider it a new skill. Don't expect them to take a full meal the first time. So when it comes to them moving the milk using a bottle, they use their cheeks to create a kind of suction vacuum and transfer the milk using their tongue then. So we want to kind of mimic that movement when it comes to a paced bottle feeding technique. So I'm joined by, not this baby because he's sleeping, but this sweet little Molly here. And I'm going to offer her a paced bottle using one of my favourite bottles, which I will talk about in another little section. This is the Lansano bottle. And what I want to do is have her sitting almost upright, so almost 90 degrees. The reason for that is she has more control over the flow. I want to begin giving the bottle in the same way that I would at the breast. So waiting for her to latch on nice and deeply, you're making sure that her mouth is open nice and wide. And what you're doing is you're going to offer her an empty teat first. The reason this works so nicely when you're going between bottle and breast is because when your baby's feeding at the breast, they don't get a letdown or that milk ejection reflex, that milk spray, straight away. They have to work a little bit before that milk starts to flow. So we're mimicking that with a paced bottle feeding technique, offering an empty teat first, and then what you're going to do is you're actually going to only bring it up to sort of parallel, horizontal there. So what you're doing is you're actually only filling the teat to half full. Don't worry about any of that extra air. Your baby will blow it out through their nostrils as they're feeding. And what I want you to do is assume that a bottle feed is going to take about 20 minutes from start to finish. Consider it a full meal. Anything faster than that, so if you can hear your baby going gulping, gulping, chances are they're going to take in a lot of air, they're going to be a lot more uncomfortable, and it's just going to be too much and a possibility of overfeeding them. What I want you to do is create that nice eye contact, allow your baby to feed with that teat half full so they can blow that extra air out, and drop the bottle every so often to give your baby a nice little break. What you might also do is offer your baby that little break and offer them an opportunity to wind. Come back to that wonky winding technique. Their chin hooked up over your shoulder, them tilted to their left-hand side, their bottom to the opposite side. Give them an opportunity to bring up any wind if they have any. And then what I want you to do is to offer them an alternative position on the other side. This is going to create lovely bonding. It gives them a new scenery to look at, great for their brain development. And again, you're going to start by offering an empty teat, waiting for a big open mouth, empty teat, then filling it to half full. Don't worry, again, they're going to blow all of that lovely air out their nostrils, dropping it to give them a little break. That is how you do a paced feeding technique. It avoids that feeling of them discomfort from them feeling over full. Babies, when their palate is stimulated, will continue to suckle. So this allows them an opportunity that if they've actually had enough to stop feeding and to stop drinking, looking at them, creating that eye contact and that bond, holding them really close like that is really great for kind of creating that connection between you and your baby.